Okay, so let's talk about the Papaya Rules because apparently they are the talk of the town. So, what are the Papaya Rules? Well, the Papaya Rules are basically the rules of engagement that McLaren has put together for Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in their title battle. Now, whenever the drivers are asked about what the Papaya Rules are, in essence, they say that it is all about racing hard, racing fair, and not making contact or crashing into each other. Now, while this is the premise, the gravity of the situation is something that a lot of the fans and to a certain extent, a lot of the new F1 content creators have not understood. Whenever in F1 history, you've had two highly talented, equally hungry, competitive drivers fighting for the world championship in the same car as teammates, more or less it has led to implosions. We can talk about the Mercedes rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg from 2014 to 2016. We can go back and talk about the rivalry at McLaren between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Or we can go even further back from 1988 and 1989, where again at McLaren we had Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. All these cases involve massive team implosions. Because what happened? Well, the drivers fell out. Why? Because things weren't managed as well as it could have been. There was a lack of trust between both the drivers and between the drivers and the team. The most recent example, the Lewis Hamilton Nico Rosberg rivalry. Before both of them fought for the title, they were childhood friends. Once the rivalry was done, they were not even on talking terms anymore. That's the kind of impact it had. And the impact and the toxicity it brought to Mercedes itself, I think Toto Wolff has often talked about it. Now, this is the scenario that McLaren wanted to avoid. They were quite clear, and the clarity was both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they were going to be given equal opportunity to fight it out. The entire thing is built on trust. The team trusts the drivers trust the team. The team trusts that when a command is given, the drivers would listen. And the drivers trust that both of them would be given an equal opportunity. Now, again, every driver will have a certain level of paranoia. And right now, after the Singapore Grand Prix, Oscar Piastri would have a certain level of it. But in essence, we have to understand what McLaren has been able to achieve at least until now in this season, and that is after the 18 races of the season, the McLaren team has not imploded. There was slight friction between Oscar and Lando after Singapore, but once you saw both of them meet and you saw them break the ice once again, you compare that with Mercedes after I think fifth or sixth race in Monaco, the relationship was gone. You can go further back and you talk about the Senna Prost rivalry, and I think this is the context that is missing. McLaren is trying to be as fair as possible and is giving both the drivers equal opportunities. And I think this is something for which they should be commended, not shouted upon. Again, that's just my view. You might have a different one. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.